Welcome. In this episode, I will be talking about the global military industrial base, and I'll be looking at the various insights which are there and what is India's path forward. As global conflicts increase, it has become clear that countries must not only have access to advanced military technology but also possess the capability to produce this equipment indigenously in sufficient quantities. The starting point for building a robust military industrial base begins with a nation's defense budget, which fuels procurement and production capabilities. Globally, the United States leads with a defense budget close to $900 billion, followed by China at approximately $300 billion, and nations like India, Russia, and the United Kingdom range between $50 to $100 billion. Each country's military industrial base reflects the strength of the defense industry and the budgetary commitments it can make. For instance, in the United States, major defense contractors such as Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and Northrop Grumman lead the production and innovation efforts, with revenues in billions driven by a well-structured procurement process. The US military industrial base is a dynamic ecosystem involving government agencies like the Department of Defense, DARPA, and NSA, in close collaboration with private sector defense contractors. This model ensures that the US maintains technological superiority and military readiness. Now let us have a look at the European military industrial bases, which are essentially collaborative in nature. European countries, though smaller in defense budgets, have formidable military industrial bases. Nations like France, Germany, and the United Kingdom have major defense contractors including Thales Group, Airbus, BAE Systems, respectively. These military industrial bases rely heavily on private contractors, and a key feature of European defense is joint collaborations. For instance, the Future Combat Air System, or FACS, and the Eurofighter programs pool resources from multiple countries. The European Defence Fund further supports collaborative R&D efforts across the continent, ensuring competitiveness and innovation. However, European military industrial bases face budgetary constraints and increasing focus on sustainability, with efforts to integrate greener technologies into defense manufacturing. Despite these challenges, Europe's collaborative approach enables cost sharing and risk mitigation, making their military industrial bases competitive in the global defense market. Now let us have a look at Russia's state-controlled military industrial base. In contrast, Russia's military industrial base is largely state-controlled, with a focus on military modernization and self-sufficiency. The Russian government manages the military industrial base through entities like the Military Industrial Commission and state-owned corporations such as Rostec. Despite facing sanctions and an aging workforce, Russia remains a significant arms exporter, second only to the United States, with a focus on cost-effective, less politically restrictive weapon systems. Let's also have a look at the Chinese military industrial base. China's military industrial base has grown, supported by state-owned enterprises like Aviation Industry Corporation of China and China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation. The Chinese government emphasizes civil-military fusion and international cooperation to modernize its defense industry. China is now a leading arms exporter and aims to project power globally, particularly in regions like the South China Sea and Taiwan. What is India's military industrial base? It is a growing military industrial base, And India too is making substantial progress in building a robust and self-reliant military industrial base. Historically, India relied heavily on imports, but in recent years, the focus has shifted to indigenization under initiatives like Atmanirbhar Bharat. The defense acquisition procedure and an increased focus on R&D are helping Indian industries grow. The Indian government has encouraged joint ventures, technology transfer agreements, and collaborations between private firms and defense research institutions like the DRDO. Recent achievements in the Indian military industrial base include the development of platforms like the Tejas light combat aircraft, Arjun main battle tank, INS Vikrant aircraft carrier, and BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. India's defense exports are also on the rise, supported by the government's goal of enhancing the global reach of Indian military products. So now let us have a look at what is a possible way forward for India. So the first point is India needs to increase its R&D investment. While India is making strides in indigenization, its R&D investments remain lower than global leaders like the United States and China. Boosting investment in research will accelerate innovation and technological advancements. There is also a need to streamline further the procurement. So India must continue to simplify its procurement processes. A faster, more efficient system will help ensure timely production and delivery of critical defense equipment. India can also leverage its MSMEs and private sector. So India's MSMEs and private sector are becoming key players in defense manufacturing. Strengthening these sectors through better incentives and partnerships will boost productive capabilities. And India will need to carry on focusing further on export growth. India's export targets are being kept high, and that is helping. Increasing its share in the global arms market will not only reduce dependency on imports but also strengthen its geopolitical influence. Another advantage is the human resource which is available in India. India has a large pool of skilled talent, unlike many developed nations facing labor shortages. Tapping into this resource, particularly in the high-tech areas like AI, cyber warfare, and advanced manufacturing, will give India a competitive edge. The next thing we can look at is expanding international collaborations. Partnering with other countries for joint ventures and technology sharing agreements will enhance India's military industrial base capabilities. The defense industrial corridors and strategic partnerships should further focus on technology transfer and co-development opportunities. Finally, I would say that India's military industrial base is at a pivotal stage of growth, driven by the need for self-reliance and increasing global relevance. By enhancing its R&D, streamlining processes, and fostering partnerships, India is well positioned to emerge as a significant player in the global defense landscape. As geopolitical challenges grow, India's continued focus on building an indigenized, innovative, and competitive military industrial base will be critical to its long-term strategic objectives. Thank you for listening. We look forward to bringing more such episodes to you. Jai Hind.